It was September 22nd, 2013. It was my daughter's 10th birthday. 4 days prior, I had just had surgery. That night, I began to bleed from one of the wounds. I tried my best not to go to the hospital. We were supposed to celebrate her first double-digit birthday. Eventually, we had to head out. And on our way to the hospital, I looked over and said, I don't want to die tonight. I knew something was different than those 11 previous admissions that year. I couldn't put my thoughts around it. I couldn't pinpoint what it was going to be. It seemed like this ride took forever. I knew something was going to be different. That night, the on-call surgeon walked into my room. He was about 6'5", maybe even taller, but to me, he looked like a giant. He was holding the information that I had been waiting for all night long. He said, well, we've done several tests. Your liver, your kidneys, and your colon, pretty much all your organs are shutting down. I thought to myself, my organs shutting down? We know she's bleeding from her stomach, but we don't know where it's coming from. We're going to have to do an emergency surgery. I suggest calling all your family and friends because this might be your final goodbyes. And in that moment, I didn't know what to feel. Was I supposed to be angry? Was I supposed to be sad? Who defined emotions anyway? Who said I had to react a certain way? I'm gonna tell you, in that moment, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. But all I knew is that I had to find the inner strength to fight. You see, growing up, excuses were tools of incompetence used to build monuments of nothingness. And those that used them were good at nothing but excuses, excuses, excuses. You see, for me, the excuse was the villain in my life. And if I made one, this thing called life, this terminal illness, it would win. Hi, my name is Xtavia, and my life defies the odds. I'm not supposed to be here today. Faced with death 3 times, diagnosed with lupus at the age of 15, and told I was going to be dead by 21. Even though I had dreams, I wanted to be successful. I wanted a family. They say plan, prepare for the future. I was going to be the next Wilma Rudolph, the next American track star. Faced with fear, anger, and hopelessness, I realized I could relinquish control to this thing called life, or I can seize life by the reins. Imagine a life where we shape the outcomes, and our narratives determine our responses. We're able to, in the rim, be able to identify our inner hero and our purpose. Rather than succumbing to insurmountable challenges, we wield the power to be able to make the decisions to change our outcomes, our actions, and our results. Instead of yielding to despair, we harness a strength of dopamine, reconditioning our emotions, and being able to fight and win this journey in life. You see, when I was diagnosed early, I had to make a decision how I was going to react to these emotions that I kept feeling. I was not going to accept a life cut short. Conversations with loved ones and God, a heart to heart. One day I realized that no matter what I did, I had to have the strength to fight. My mother's unwavering support echoed the truth that I must live, not merely survive. I was able to fight and stand and look adversity in the face. You see, when you're going through these things in life and you feel like there's no way to get out, we have to decide how we choose to react to these emotions, because this thing called life will take you out. I stand boldly against adversity like a boxer, taking a stance with my hands up, ready and willing to declare a knockout against life. With, of course, my metaphorical cape that's able and willing and possesses all of my superpowers. We all have an innate hero inside of us. You just have to tap into that hero within. Often heroes are defined as superhuman traits with strength, intensity, and a will to be able to provide a quest to save the world. I wasn't sure how to nurture my hero, how to sculpt her responses to pain, adversity, emotions that have interfered in what I was going to do in my very existence. But I forged a path forward. You see, my mission in life was to unearth people and help them find their inner strength. Listen, one day I decided to command life by the reins, right? I refused to be a passive observer. And in that decision, it gave me an internal vigor, unveiling my superhero. She was going to stand with me in the shadows, and every time that I faced adversity, she was going to pop up. And yes, she is a girl. And she's powerful. But sometimes we have to decide, do we want to succumb to all of this anxiety and challenges this thing called life throws at us? Or do we just recondition the way we think? See, early on, I began to reshape my emotions on how I controlled the way that I responded to my adversity. I replaced instinctual responses with emotive wisdom, drawing from my battles and my struggle, wielding this power, wielding a power to move forward. My resilience fortified, introducing me to my past experiences that I had already faced and conquered. You see, sometimes if you can reprogram how you feel when you're in a situation, when it comes back up, you can get through it. Who said that we have to respond to a broken heart with sadness? Maybe I want to respond with being happy. Maybe he should have been gone anyway. But this is what we call life. And life isn't going anywhere. So we have to learn how to walk this journey and understand that everyone has these trials and tribulations. You see, on my journey, I found my purpose. It was to infuse children with vitality, showing them that the storms can cultivate strength. And adversity isn't the end, it's the beginning of a life well lived. So I challenge you today to live life's journey. Embrace the adversities. Be strong. Just tell it to come on in. Work it out. Face it. Put on your metaphorical cape. You see, I've learned that my purpose outweighs my adversity. I'm actually still here because I'm supposed to be here. We are all heroes in the making. So I challenge you today, before you give up, choose to live life instead of life living you. Thank you.